I want to express my support for Animal Rebellion's call for a transition towards a fair and more plant-based food system. For governments to make decisions based on the scientific evidence about the impact the livestock system has on the environment and health, and for demanding urgent action now to avoid a climate catastrophe and a public health disaster in the coming years. So what does the scientific evidence tell us? According to the latest report by the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, the food system is responsible for more than a third of all greenhouse gas emissions, and therefore a major driver of climate change. The great majority of those emissions are due to animal-sourced foods, in particular beef and dairy. An international team of researchers and I have shown that without a transition towards more plant-based diets, there is very little chance to meet the food system's 2-degree target and avoid dangerous levels of climate change, even if we were to improve farm management and technology, reduce food loss and waste, and improve socioeconomic conditions. The scale of change needed for this to happen is nothing short of a great food transformation. We estimated that if everybody ate like the average German, the food system's 2-degree target would be exceeded threefold, which means we would need 3 planets to take up the amount of food-related greenhouse gas emissions, all other sectors being equal. A more plant-based diet that is both healthy and sustainable, and recommended by the Eat Lancet Commission on Healthy Diets from Sustainable Food Systems, would in Germany require a reduction in red meat consumption of over 90%, reducing poultry consumption by a quarter, dairy consumption by 2/3, as well as increasing fruit and vegetable consumption by over 50% and legume consumption by even more. Anything less ambitious and would fail the food system's 2-degree target and risk dangerous levels of climate change. Anything less ambitious and we exceed other environmental limits related to land use, water use, and chemical pollution. Anything less ambitious and we'd offload our responsibility to other communities and countries to do more. The good news is that any change towards a diverse and more plant-based food system presents an opportunity for improving both the health of our planet and the health of the population. For Germany, we estimated that about 160,000 deaths could be prevented per year if our diets were mostly based on plant-based foods such as whole grains, fruits and vegetables, legumes and nuts, and even more if they were completely plant-based. Said in another way, our current diets are so imbalanced that they're responsible for over 160,000 preventable deaths per year. To put this into perspective, that's 16 times more deaths than COVID has caused in Germany so far. COVID is rightly taken seriously. Let's make sure the impacts the food system and our diets have on ourselves and the planet are too. Unhealthy and unsustainable diets are fueling an ongoing public health emergency, and one that is massively contributing to the climate and ecological emergency that is happening before our eyes. A transformation of the food system towards a healthy and sustainable one is urgently needed. We have enough scientific evidence to suggest concrete steps that would move us in the right direction. These steps include, among others, a reform of national dietary guidelines in line with the latest scientific evidence on healthy and sustainable diets, a full and fair pricing of foods that takes into account the costs to health and the environment that are currently hidden, a restructuring of agricultural policies and subsidies to support farmers in producing foods that are necessary for a healthy and sustainable food system, and to discourage those that are not. A weiter so, or business as usual, is not an option. Let's call out for change, and let's be part of that change. Thank you.